These are representative depictions of the ideal traditional man. We've all seen them and to some extent even wish to imitate them. In pop culture, art and education, individuals are confronted with images that convey specific values regarding gender roles. And these expectations not only influence men's self-perception, but also affect their social relationships and mental health. The Manosphere, an online group of men that promotes traditional gender values, promotes its optics as well. However, there is a great deal of irony and almost a certain adorableness in how they often fail.
Whoa, buddy. Why you expressing another man in a cute way? I don't like that. I don't know. I'd never look at my friends and go, that outfit is adorable, man. I like that outfit. That outfit is adorable. I would never say that. Whoa, buddy. Slow down there, Spark.
To live up to the standards of the aesthetics of the Manosphere.
Great ass. Goes out with that loser Patrick Bateman. What a dork.
And the dangerous thing about overly emotional men is that they're dangerous.
Thought the marginalized were supposed to have a voice.
While you are getting drunk and going to parties, I'm actually working on
I'm not gonna lie, Jordan Peterson been crying a lot lately. I don't think it affects his masculinity per se. And I always think it's funny that it's the same people who harp about mental health and men should be able to cry are the same people that make fun of Jordan Peterson for him crying as of late more on podcasts and stuff. He has been crying a lot though lately. He has.
I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
That's incredible.
Ideal trad wife wants to have as many kids as possible.
What is a real alpha male?
I'm in touch with humanity.
Post alcohol, post jokes, and post memes.
Younger women are more likely to be attracted to men who show dark triad traits.
Remember,
I'm 100 men!
Holy fuck.
they can't destroy what they don't know.
Delete all social media apps.
Never post your achievements on social media.
Child of divorce, give me a break.
I want I'm gonna destroy all you fucking pieces of shit.
We could basically cut this video short and say everything that fits the cliche is the aesthetic, right? Muscular, rich, smoking, drinking, tattooed, sunglasses.
Well, here's the issue though. Before the Manosphere, literally carved into stone is the ideal masculine physique. Cross-culturally, worldwide, everybody's agreed upon one thing, and that is we're going to etch in this type of guy, and it's going to be a guy that reflects strength and discipline. So, you could say that this is a product of the Manosphere, or you could just say that this has been the ideal pursuit for a lot of guys throughout time. And I think it says more, the consistency of it throughout time says more about our nature than it does about traditional roles or the Manosphere's aesthetics. It seems to be pretty consistent throughout time.
But what makes this topic so interesting, in my opinion, are the deviations from this ideal image compared to these male icons from pop culture who have a rougher, more authentic appearance. Alpha males of the Manosphere often appear more groomed, superficial, staged, and cleaner. They are basically just playing dress up.
I think it's none of your business. I don't want you to think I'm triggered by you. I'm not. Okay. I saw somebody say that, and I think that's interesting. I think you're annoying, but I'm not triggered.
And everything they wear is tighter than spandex. Also, look at the colors. Or the patterns. The intent is more Patrick Bateman-esque than rough, dirty Clint Eastwood-esque.
Yeah, and because motherfuckers ain't shooting guns no more. It ain't the Wild West. The new status is corporate America, so it's like a clean-cut look. But I think that more people, especially young men, are going for aesthetics more now than ever is a reflection of social media. I think it's because you see yourself so much. I don't think people were meant to see themselves as much. And to be honest, high-status guys have always been quite colorful. Let's just be honest. That's been a thing throughout time that's been pretty consistent, too. But I do think that there's something more now than ever before. Like, when I was younger, people were still wearing hand-me-downs. People were wearing stitched clothes sometimes. Now people are so much more focused on fashion brands and getting the highest brand or the best brand because everything is about status in America now. So a lot of young guys are just growing up in a time where they feel like they got to look a certain way, they got to dress a certain way. And I think the guys who are looking that way and dressing that way are finding more success. And I think that's why more guys are striving towards that figure.
Even then, Bateman's character presents himself as an upper-class yuppie. These men fail to even mimic that style due to their misunderstanding of how different classes present themselves. They want to appear rich, but lack the aesthetic understanding of how the rich actually look like. That looks cheap, not expensive. That look reminds me of one specific movement though. The metrosexual aesthetic.
now getting in touch with their feminine side.
The term metrosexuality was coined in the 1990s and describes men who challenge their traditional gender role by emphasizing their individuality and sense of fashion. Kinda ironic. The careful self-presentation could be seen as a desire to put themselves in the spotlight, to be desired and recognized.
Yeah, but who doesn't want to be desired and recognized? Let's just be honest. I think what's more important is what do you want to be desired and recognized for? Everybody wants to be desired and recognized. Let's not with this whole, I don't need anybody to care about me. I don't care what anybody thinks act. Everybody wants to be recognized. It's about what are you going to be recognized for? And I think if you want to be recognized for something that's more positive, if you want to be recognized to be a figure of discipline, if you want to be recognized to be a figure of motivation, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. And we're just going off aesthetics. So anybody that's talking about ideology or what these people talk about that's on the screen, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the aesthetic of it all.
And they want attention and validation. So what I'm also wondering is, who do they want to be recognized by? That's gayer than gay sex.
This is a good video, objectively. I don't agree with like a lot of the points so far, but this is actually a good video. This is a well-done video. The aesthetics of the Manosphere.
Their online content is filled with cliches. Look, even their logos and symbols they use are as generic as it gets. Quick, name an animal that's supposed to represent strong masculine men.
I was about to say elephant.
Okay, maybe less cliche? Even less?
Yeah, but I think that these are just all symbols of strength, and I don't think that everything that they're doing is to get the attention of hoes. Like, is that a surprise? And it's like, if guys aren't doing things to specifically get the attention of women, then it's seen as like somehow gay or metrosexual. I don't know what he's saying here. I think that what they're doing is they're promoting a brand to a certain type of guy. I don't actually think that with that video, that small video of them sitting in the rain, it is kind of cringy, obviously, to me as an older man. But as a younger guy coming up, and you see a embodiment of discipline when you used to seeing all these gay boys in the news and everything everywhere. I mean, that looks like something you want to aspire to be. And then he's saying things that you might want to hear. Then you start buying his course.
Jesus Christ. Even when you watch their short form video content from the Sphere, you notice that they often use the same filter. A filter that cranks up the contrast levels to the extreme. I think this is meant to convey intensity, roughness, and a masculine aura. But they just can't help themselves. Sometimes there's even a blur filter added, giving them like flawless skin.
Brothers making fun of videos that they're not even posting. You know how many of those like red pill channels there are on like TikTok and Instagram that just repost little short clips of Andrew Tate with some music behind it? There's so many of those. Like, I don't even think Andrew Tate's posting that stuff himself. I think he has like minions that just clip all of his content and just blast it all over the internet. And I'm pretty sure all of these guys do, and they probably pay some of them, to be honest.
Again, contradicts
I know that's
the
a method
rough
right now.
And unpolished aesthetic of traditional masculinity. To showcase the unfiltered truth of their statements, they often use soundtracks that reinforce the whole thing.
My definition of a man is someone that can slit a throat and hold a baby in the same day. Some of the most masculine men you'll ever meet.
Dark love to me is...
Damn, dog. I just got done saying all that, then he had to go and say that. Come on, dog. Come on.
The world could hate us. The world could be burning down, and we'd be slow dancing in a burning room. And if I can't have love like that, then I don't want love at all. So all my emojis, even rose, black heart, rose. Real love is holding hands with two skeletons. Real love is getting buried by each other. Real love is she'll take a charge for you. Not that I would have somebody, but she'd also kill for you. Real love's dark, bro.
Trust me, a theater kid like me recognizes other theater kids. By the way, when you see this setup right here, with these text overlays and that filter, you know that you're watching a podcast with the greatest thinkers of our time.
No, this is a great video.
Saying is true.
This is a great video. This dude is doing a good job.
Did you know that the pilots of 9/11 were women?
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Then there's this whole Matrix metaphor.
Obesity comes from you Jews affecting our media.
The Manosphere is part of the Red Pill movement, a completely reactionary political ideology that aims to wake people up from the mainstream narrative. You know, the Matrix.
It's the Matrix. 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 The Matrix.
Matrix.
Yeah, the Matrix is trying to frame me, but God knows the truth.
Was Hitler really bad?
What's funny about that is that both directors of The Matrix are trans, and The Matrix itself can be understood as an allegory for the transgender experience, at least according to the directors themselves.
Patrick Bateman.
Men in the sphere tend to idolize figures from pop culture. Besides classic alpha male characters like John Wick, Thomas Shelby, Bruce Wayne, or Ryan Gosling, so-called edgelord characters enjoy a special appreciation, especially among incels. Edgelords are characters that stand out for their provocative, violent, rebellious, or nihilistic behavior, like Tyler Durden, Patrick Bateman, Homelander, Travis Bickle, or Joker.
I'm the Joker, baby!
I think this video could go on forever. Like, I haven't even mentioned the aesthetic similarities to fascism, like the fascist body. That would be a whole design study on its own. Overall, I just wanted to point out that through the exaggerated staging of men online, a hypocrisy I think is pretty obvious. Standards that of course cannot be maintained.
Yes, they can.
And I'm not saying like we should throw out all ideals. A strong, healthy body is important.
Yes.
I'm just saying, why don't we men just start questioning these expectations a bit more? Like,
because it is bestowed upon you by God to be strong. And I'm not saying you got to be physically strong, but I'm saying you got to be strong in some pursuit. Really, I'm saying you got to be disciplined, because I think even mental strength is a real strength. I think the ability to get up and do something consistently and be very disciplined is a strength. It doesn't necessarily have to be physically strong. And I do think that there's a degree of physical strength that can be unattractive to women where it looks unhealthy. But what I'm trying to say here is it is bestowed upon you to be strong as a man. If you are not strong as a man, you are a liability. And I'm not saying you got to be just physically strong. There are many ways to be strong. But you have to be strong in some pursuit. You cannot just be a liability walking around this planet. That's why you can't give up on that pursuit. It has nothing to do with traditional masculinity. This has been a thing. This has been consistent throughout all of human time. And what, we're going to change it because some dudes online are making videos in the dark?
Why do we even associate certain values to our gender identity?
The people who they admire, respect, adore, revere, honor, whom they imitate, idolize, and form profound attachments to, whom they are willing to teach, and from whom they are willing to learn, and whose respect, admiration, recognition, honor, reverence, and love they desire, those are overwhelmingly other men. Where from women they want devotion, service, and sex.
What? People whom they admire, respect, adore, revere, honor, whom they imitate, idolize, and form profound attachments to, whom they are willing to teach, and from whom they are willing to learn, and whose respect, admiration, recognition, honor, reverence, and love they desire. Those are overwhelmingly other men? Are you shitting me? So I can't even want to be like Mike? So if I look at somebody and I say I like what he did and that inspires me to be something similar, and he teaches me how to do the thing that he did, and I become admirable, I'm somehow gay? It's so weird how, like, what they do is, like, any pursuit of masculinity, any pursuit of strength is somehow aligned with homosexuality, and there could be a guy sucking another guy off and they'll go, oh, that's regular. It's so weird. It's like they invert everything. It's like, oh, if you're doing anything to pursue any sort of masculinity or admiration or recognition or honor or anything like that, it's all gay. But if you're just sucking some other dude off or doing some other gay stuff that they want you to do, it's like, oh, that's just normal behavior. This is absurd.
Sexual male culture is homoerotic. It is man-loving.
Marilyn Fry. Let's look up this person. All right, we're done here. It all makes sense now.